I had no idea what an emotional roller coaster this game would be beforehand, and that was a welcome surprise. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 nonchalantly dropped in the middle of time that is already stacked with a number of titles that have their own noticeable online presence, and still managed to hold breaths of those fortunate enough to try it with a tight grip, fusing the familiar mechanics of turn-based nature in some real-time reaction-based ones in a fascinating manner. Expedition 34 is a revolution in a genre. I swear to God I timed it correctly. That, combined with an immensely distinctive setting of an accurately portrayed France of the 19th century, and all of that topped with a story that will make you cry like a little boy a couple of times throughout the game. All that guarantees an experience that you won't forget soon, although some memories still make my heart sink in its own tears, and I would be glad to let them go. What a miserable bunch of people this French are. Let's start from the beginning. It is there. This game immediately grabs your attention by presenting an exciting premise. Our main protagonist Charlie does in fact Cox, that also kind of looks like that guy from that weird black and white movie, is spending time with the love of his life that is about to be erased from reality by a force of such a tremendous magnitude that it was easier to just call this event to Gamache. Every year an evil goddess of this land paints a new number, and everyone of that age turns to ash and flower petals. If that was not tragic enough without flowers, a fate that an indomitable bunch of humans refused to just simply accept, and for almost 70 years sent the so-called expeditions to try and stop this paintress. To no success so far, evidently, but this one is about to be different. They wouldn't make a game about the expedition that perished just like the others, right? An enigmatic old fella with a drip that would make any man be full of envy and sure that he has no sense of style in comparison, accompanied by a bunch of big, hand, ugly monsters that try to devour you whole in their amalgamation of palms is what made this expedition near failure and what set the stakes from the beginning. This is how you hook attention from the get-go. I was not going anywhere after that 1 hour I spent in this intro. The game was providing enough world building with almost every dialogue I had up to this point without overwhelming me too much, and when it all immediately and inevitably went to shit, I was fully immersed in this mysterious plot full of unfortunate events, and the world where this plot unravels. What an odd place, truly. Combination of colors I've seen before only in my most nonsensical dreams, creatures of all manner of shape and style, and the amount of pain they caused me, faraway lands that fill the horizon with their divine views, and all of that accompanied by probably the best soundtrack to a video game I heard like ever. Recency bias is strong here, of course, and I'm not that much of a music critic myself to give an objective opinion on this, but the way it seamlessly fused sad moments with action and sometimes horror and sometimes an absurd scale of the world weighing down on your shoulders in this exact moment where fate of the universe is being decided. That while keeping the same traceable theme that is just oozing with melancholy. Sometimes piano, sometimes guitar, sometimes even vocals that somehow don't sound out of place, but always only enhancing the current scene to impressive heights. This game's OST is one of the main reasons it's such an emotional trek down the valley of its creator's vibrant fantasy. And like I said a moment ago, the visuals are also just completely out of this world and help reach that exact goal. It's nothing crazy, and I wouldn't call this game's graphics photorealistic or something, and I don't care about that even a little bit. Yeah, I guess it's unbelievably cool that GTA 6 main character's muscle pop out a little when supinated, but what I really care about is memorable art style, which Expedition 69 has plenty of. This world is as surreal as they come. It might even feel a little disjointed somewhere in the middle, but then due to some revelations down the path, you realize that makes total sense. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you prematurely, but if you don't care, here is an encapsulation of it that you can watch in 0.25 speed and get the gist of it. Exploring this world also plays a significant role in building up immersion. Places you'll visit will make you involuntarily drag your joystick in a cinematic manner while looking high at the beautiful horizon. Each so different from the other, but all of them leaving a clear picture of that dreamy scenery in your mind. The deeps of a dark sea that are somehow just there and you can easily walk inside them, whatever that means. Tower made of crusty wooden planks that infinitely reach to the skies. Crimson forest inhabited by little freaks that possess the knowledge of shaking those massive hips. Remnants of an old city now looking like some forgotten magnificent battlefield with all those glowing mega swords pointing out of everywhere. I sure hope it's not some foreshadowing to an exceedingly powerful foe. Not just exploring for some breathtaking views, but exploring in general is the way to play Clair Obscur. You'll find the usual upgrade materials and all that stuff, but sometimes it's secret fights or not encountered before locations, even massive ones. One time I entered the place out of the main path and there was just this guy sitting there and hitting a mountain around him. Crazy. Or that silly series of beach minigames where some are fun little challenges, the others require some focus for a noticeable period of time, and thirds are just incredible with how fast they make you despise their mere existence. What the fuck is this, and why am I putting myself through this nightmare of an experience? Oh, I've done it. It's not so bad, to be honest. Is this game hard? It definitely can be, but doesn't have to. For starters, you have a classic option to simply lower the difficulty, which will noticeably reduce the amount of suffering you're going through. Also, adjusting your playstyle is important. For example, dodging is generally easier than parrying, but not as rewarding and fun, in my opinion. I honestly don't remember pressing the dodge button that much outside of the tutorial, which of course makes me a god gamer that deserves all the praise in the world. I'm just kidding. Like, subscribe and comment. What a scrub of a gamer I am that avoided two of the hardest battles in the game like a little puss. But for real, parrying here is quite satisfying, albeit a little annoying from time to time. Going a familiar route to those acquainted with a little indie game called Elden Ring, where learning move patterns of your enemies is extremely rewarding and overfills you with adrenaline when parrying or dodging executed perfectly. But sometimes devs are clearly going out of their way to make that pattern as untraceable as possible, expecting from me like I have a perfectly functioning pair of eagle eyes with cybernetic enhancement in place of my two blurry, dusty and out of commission lenses I have in my eye sockets. Here it's totally the same. Going out of battle completely unharmed makes you feel quite literally untouchable and also gives you a nice 20% XP bonus. But sometimes it's dragged to such a crazy extent that I'm not even mad at that level. Take that, you gross TT. I've pressed R1 with correct timing enough times for you to get on your force and fucking explode. Not to mention a meticulously crafted system of passive effects that requires some active brain acknowledgement from a potential player. But it's quite simple once you get the idea. Just look at the numbers, I guess. Big numbers are good. And then you press your left stick and what the hell is this? Turns out, once I win 4 fights with an equipped Pictus, that Pictus goes into the library of those I can use freely, using the Lumina points, and that increases the build variety by like 1000%. By the end of the game, I was literally stopping myself from engaging with this system. It's just that fun and easily dealt with a task of giving that tidbit of customization I crave from time to time. Making a machine gun build where I shoot 1 trillion times and make multiple strikes afterward just to make another turn, like right after, felt like pushing the system to an extent. But it's then I saw those videos on YouTube of other people dealing actual trillions of damage in a single hit and realized how pathetic my concerns were. This game's balance is quite broken if you're ready to invest some time in it, and that makes it even better. But this game changed me. This game ruined other games for me. This game made me cry and piss and shit myself. And all those clickbait-worthy phrases are quite true this time. I can't even speak about its greatest part, its heavy and thought-provoking story that makes grown people reflect upon their own past and question their established beliefs. I tried not to reveal major spoilers in hopes that some of you who still haven't played Clair Obscur will give it a try at least. This game does something special, and it came out of nowhere. I had no expectations except recommendations of my friends, and it blew me away with its rich world, its addictive gameplay, and its complex and truly complicated story. Makes you really wish that this so-called France wasn't a fictional country. Also, you can have sex here, so easily 10 out of 10.